This is a Google definition of endure. Endure primarily means to suffer through something difficult or painful with patience and resilience. Broadly, it can also mean to persist, last, or continue to exist over a long period of time. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS for teaching real well, who taught me his truth. Salutations, you brothers and sisters out there listening, learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing his word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. And hope and pray that this lesson be edifying, comforting, exhorting, uplifting, as always, to the elect. So, the name of this lesson will be endure. Here we are at the cusp of the 250th anniversary of Babylon, this wicked, decrepit ass kingdom, that we have to deal with, and but we know that there's something far greater than this place that is at hand. But we have to continue to endure in order to get to that glory, so to speak. So I'll start off with this, 2 Timothy 2:3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi HaMashiach. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier, man. So this is a fight. This is a fight that we have to endure day to day. And we have to ask Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi constantly, to put the spirit on us to continue to fight. As King David said, or prayed, I should say. Psalms 51. Let's start Psalms 51, and let's start at 7. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness. Take the bones which thou hast broken, may rejoice. Right? Hide thy face from my sins and blot out all my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, meaning mine, O Yahawah, and renew a right spirit within me. And this is the point. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me, man. And I was watching the beloved Apostle Gabar earlier, and he was speaking about the importance of prayer. So as we go through this walk of ours, we can't forget how important prayer is, man. It's very, it's seriously important, man. You know? And as we continue to walk this, this good fight of faith, we have to remember that we can't quit, man. This is Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. So we're not in the business of quitting, in this ministry, man. Not at all. This is Hebrews 10:39. But we are not of them who draw back onto perdition. Let me see if this is what I was thinking about. Okay, let's read a little bit more. Lucky. 10:39. Let's start at I'll just go pretty much straight to the point. I'll go at 36. Hebrews 10, and I'll start at 36. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. Right? What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Right? Next chapter, Hebrews 11:1. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back onto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul, man. So we are commanded to continue to believe and have trust and have faith in Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. The scriptures speak about woe unto them. Luke 9:62. And Yahawashi said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow, right, doing the work, and looking back, like we just read about, is fit for the kingdom of Yahawah. No man putting his hand to the plow is fit. No man putting his hand to the plow and looking back, just like Job's wife, right? He got, Lot's wife, Salakia, got turned into a pillar of salt because she looked back, right? It's no different than especially for a man of the Lord. Well, who claimed to be a man of the Lord. Because if you look back, then you obviously wasn't a man of the Lord. So no man, Luke 9:62, and Yahawashi said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow, doing the work, and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of Yahawah, man. So we have to always remember that and keep that in our frame of mind, man. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi frown upon quitters, man. They frown upon quitters. So let's read, let's see. Let's start off with Hebrews 12. Salakia. Give me 1 second, Akim. Salakia. I'm gonna read this first. So this is Hebrews 10. and I'll start at 19, just to back up the point. And the subtitle reads, "Hold fast to the faith," right? Fast meaning tight. Like if you fasten something, that's what the Lord is saying. Well, that's what the scripture is saying. So it reads, Hebrews 10 and 19. "Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Yahawashi, by a new and living way, which we have consecrated for us." Let's look up that word consecrated real quick. Slovakia. Get another tab. Consecrate. So the word consecrate from the Google means to consecrate means to officially make, declare, or set something apart as holy and sacred, usually through a formal religious rite, right? So to consecrate something means to set something apart as holy, right? So it says, Hebrews 10 and 20, "By a new and living way, which he hath consecrated," right, set apart for us, "through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having an high priest over the house of the Most High, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water," which is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works," right? So we're commanded to strengthen our brothers as well, right? Endure to the end, right? We're running this we're running this race, as Apostle Paul spoke about, right? 25th verse, "Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching," right? So as we see Esau's days are dwindling, right? The scriptures speak about, he knoweth that his days are short, Esau. So he's going to come down with great wrath. Revelation 12 and 12. So we're measuring the time diligently, and these devils know that the time is short. So as we have this time to exhort, uplift, edify each other, build up, right? Each other, that's what we're commanded to do. Because these devils, they're almost out of here, man. They're almost out of here. And all praise to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi for that. So let's finish off with this. This is Hebrews 12. And I'll read it in the NIV and the NLT. So Hebrews 12 and 1 and the NIV reads, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles," right? So as the scriptures say, we read it earlier, right? No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. So Apostle Paul is saying here, anything that throws us off, anything that keeps us from this truth, put it off. Put it off, right? It says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, right, the affairs of this life. And let us run with perseverance. Let's look up that word perseverance real quick. Perseverance means, in the Google, perseverance is the steadfastness, the continued effort to achieve a goal, carry out a plan, or persist in a state of being despite difficulties, setbacks, or delays, man. As Apostle Paul said, he is convinced that nothing can separate him from the love of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. That's being persevering. So this is Hebrews 12:1 in the NLT. And it reads, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down. Right? What did Yahawashi say? If you let me get it. Okay, here we go. This is Matthew 10. I'll start at 36. Yep, Matthew 10 and 36 I'll start at. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Right? So it's all about endurance. As Yahawashi did, putting yourself last, man. And we have to be, as the apostles been teaching us, we have to be in that spirit of being used to, suffering, because as it says in Hebrews as well, the Lord chasteneth who he loveth, right? And who is it that receive no chastening? The ones that don't get chastened, they are as a bastard. Roughly paraphrasing, man. So we gotta be in that same spirit too, man. It's easier said than done, as the scriptures say, as Apostle Paul spoke about. Chastening is not glorious. I forget the word the apostle used. See if I can find it real quick. Here we go. This is Hebrews 12, and I'll start at 7. And the subtitle reads, Endure chastening. 7th verse, it says, If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Question mark. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Yeah, and that's pretty much the point. I mean, continues on, but that's pretty much the point, man. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for what's the word, temptation. Prepare thy soul for temptation, man. Because this is a trial of our faith, man. So, that's pretty much it. Akim, continue to endure. I'm mainly speaking to you brothers out there, man. Continue to endure. I'm speaking to myself as well. Continue to endure. Continue to fight that good fight of faith, man. It's getting more and more difficult. But all praise to Yahawashi. He's putting the spirit. They're putting the spirit, on these brothers to continue to uplift us and to encourage us to keep fighting, man. And I hope and pray that this lesson was encouraging and uplifting to you brothers out there as well. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who teach and rule well, taught me his truth. Salutations, you brothers and sisters that out there listen, learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're outside of this bitch. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing his word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, abba, babal, and kwam yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.